Good evening, guys. My name is Kat, and welcome back to another speed renovate. We renovate a starter home. This time we are doing the Agave Abode. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I think it's called the Agave Abode. And basically, this to me just looks like a little Italian villa. So I was trying to do something that made me feel like it was more so a little Italian villa. So I mess around with this so much because I just was not sure what I wanted to do. And I looked up some photos, and of course, there's nothing really helpful for this small of a lot. And I did not realize how small of a lot this was until now, but it is a really, really tiny lot, honestly. But I think I made it work, I think. It took, I think, about 2 hours to do this one. So I think that's probably the quickest I've done one yet. I think it's just because I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and with the other ones I just kind of winged it. So with this one I basically wanted to make the house bigger first of all. So I made it two stories because I found most of the photos I found online were all 2 stories, and they had these roofs that went over the edges, and they did all have basically this exact same roofing. So this is one where I actually did keep pretty much the same colors on the outside, except for that green. I changed that green because it's gross, but I keep pretty much the same color scheme just because with this one I really wanted to stay on point with how I think the place looks. Whereas with the other ones, I really did not like how they looked on the outside, so that's why I changed them so much. Whereas this one, I thought it was pretty cute. It's a pretty cute little rustic looking home, so I definitely decided to make this a bit more, not contemporary, a bit more traditional, I would say. But to me, this looks pretty much like an Italian villa-esque kind of place. So I put this wall around it, and it's a very small lot. There's hardly anything outside. I didn't even put furniture on the little porch area just because I found it was so tiny anyway. I probably should have. I think I actually probably just forgot to, but I also have never used any of these windows in any of my builds, so the struggle was extremely real. I really did not know what I was doing. I was like, they're so circly and they don't go where I want them to. So I really struggled with those windows, let me tell you. And I just think there might be way too many windows, but oh well, what can you do? I think it turned out pretty good in the end. I think I like the interior probably more than the exterior, but it still turned out all right. And the landscaping, like I said, is very sparse. There's not a lot of landscaping. Unlike my other Oasis Springs home, Santa Crap Flat, that one, we did a heck of a lot of landscaping on that one. That one was super fun. But this one, there just was not a lot of space for it, so I just kind of dicked around and put whatever, and just kind of made it seem a little bit more, deserty, I guess. But yeah, I also never used that little front, it's not like a port, the little balcony thing. I've never used that before, and I had such a hard time trying to find it, and when I finally found it, I was like, I am such an idiot, holy crap. But I never used that before, and I think it was on the original house build, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that in there. And as you see as I go, I did keep a few things that were on the original home. Like I do keep that flooring. I keep the same counters, and I think I keep that couch too for the living room. But basically, this house renovation took this house from being a very tiny home to being a pretty large home. Like, I guess it's a decent sized 2-bedroom starter. Like, it's definitely not bad. But I took it from being a okay size starter with 2 bedrooms to being a ginormous house that was probably a little ridiculously big for the size lot. Like for the size, if it was on a bigger lot, it would make more sense. But I really, really struggled with this lot size. I really wanted to make the house even bigger than it was, but I'm kind of glad I didn't in the end because it just is such a big house and it's so unnecessary. I mean, it would be so unnecessary on like a different lot, but yeah, so I used the same cabinetry that was originally in there just because it's very traditional, it's very neat, and I have like never used it. I don't think. I might have used it in my other traditional ones, but like in different colors, but I've definitely never used any of this wallpaper. I've never really used those cabinets. I've never used those windows. I've never used a lot of stuff in this build. So I really just went new stuff crazy. And I do end up changing this bathroom here. There we go. So it wasn't that awkward sidewall, but so it's a pretty decent sized kitchen. And I did decide to put a table in the middle instead of an island. Just because there wasn't going to be enough room for chairs. So I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to put a table and it will just be kind of a cool little decorative thing. And don't worry, I do end up changing the color of that sink. I don't know what I was thinking, but I really struggled here for a while trying to get these to fit in how I wanted them to and get them to hide behind the counters. But every time I went to look outside, it was like sticking out of the house. So I ended up going with these ones because they looked a bit more rustic, a little older. I don't necessarily think the color really goes, but it goes okay because this is a very traditional home. So, you know, it doesn't have traditional or it doesn't have modern coloring and stuff like I usually like to do in my houses. But yeah, I do like that flooring too for this house. I think it goes perfect with the Italian villa thing I was going for. And honestly, I've never been to an Italian villa. I've only seen them in photos. So if this is completely off and you live in an Italian villa, I am so sorry. But like, this is what I could find on Google. So this is what happened. I'm so sorry if it is really terrible, but this is what I went for. Yeah, more traditional furnishing too with that table. And I switched these windows around because they just seemed like I really wanted to put the big ones in there, and I hated that the big ones would not center with the table. It was driving me insane. But still, this ended up working, and I kind of like how it turned out, you know? It turned out nice and traditional little dining room, and then I think I used some sort of like one of those separation walls, but like not a real wall, like a fake wall thing. I used like one of those, oh my god, I can't remember what they're called. They're like some sort of divider, but I used it to divide this little living room with the dining room. And honestly, this is a very tiny living room. It's very tiny. What I would recommend if you're using this for a home is take what I use as kind of like, there's almost two master bedrooms in this house. There's one in the main floor and one on the upper floor. But you could very easily take the one on this level on the main floor, and you could very easily transfer that into a large, lovely living room and do something else in that main entry space. But I just wanted to do as many bedrooms as possible in this. I don't know why, I just did, and I went with very traditional furnishing, so like the kind of the cheapest stuff. And it's not that I need it to be cheap or wanted it to be cheap, but it just looked the most traditional to me. Like at my parents' house, we have a sink almost exactly like that, except a little more rounded. Like to me, it's very traditional, and that's what I was going for. But yeah, so what I'm going into here now is it's one of the master bedrooms. What I kind of was thinking in the end that it would almost be like either the one on the top floor or the bottom floor is now like a suite for like the grandparents. Because when I'm playing a house, what I always do is I usually, they grow up, they have kids, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, they become elders, and then their kids have kids, and you don't necessarily want to move out your original couple until they die. So, you always have a bedroom that's for the grandparents, and then you have one for the regular parents, and then you have the kids all have their own rooms kind of thing. So, or, the twins could have rooms or whatever. So, I kind of made it that either this is the grandparents' suite or the one upstairs is. Honestly, I have no flipping clue because they're both kind of decorated in a way that it could go either way. This is definitely a bigger room, but there is no ensuite bathroom. There is, of course, a main floor bathroom, but there is no ensuite. And we also have a treadmill. So I feel like this might be more of the adult bedroom, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they just wanted to keep everything in the family, so they ended up putting this all, or they ended up, the grandparents kept their bedroom and until, they die, and the parents, they kind of had this big suite built onto the front of their house so that they could almost have their own space. And, most people, like, their bedrooms are all on the top floor, so at night, at least they have some privacy, they have their own space. Kind of, unless everyone's downstairs, but also went with very, very traditional baths. This is the most weird bathroom I have ever made in this game. It is so weird. I don't know what I was doing. I was just kind of trying to go for this weird, rustic, traditional, somewhat like, I don't know, it's not Italian. It's weird. I know, I'm sorry. But you guys kind of probably get what I'm going for. And whether it succeeded in that bathroom or not, I cannot be sure, but I probably did not. So I didn't really decorate that little hallway too much. There really wasn't enough room. So we have a ensuite bathroom here for the upstairs bedroom, and we have another full bathroom. So there's 3 full baths in this house, and then I think there's 3 bedrooms, 2 of which could be like a large master bedroom, and then the third is like a kid's bedroom, I think. And then I think I also have a study, which could easily be transformed into another small bedroom. At least I think that's what I do. Do not quote me, because we have not gotten there yet, and I have clearly not seen this house build in like a week. I've had this done for quite a few days, but I've been really busy, so I haven't been able to record my audio for it. So unfortunately, we're just kind of getting around to it now. So I promised I would have another renovation video up for this weekend, so I had to deliver, of course. But as I was saying before, this is definitely the other sort of master bath or master bedroom, and then it has its own ensuite. It's a bit younger, but I think the downstairs one is kind of younger too, but it's a lot bigger. And I did do an office here. I think I went with a traditional red color and traditional furniture. You'll notice in this house, it is very out of my comfort zone. I am not a traditional builder, generally speaking. I try though. I really do try, and I will keep trying, but it's not my forte. So if it does not look good, I am very truly sorry, and I will try and do better in the future. If you have any recommendations to help me on traditional builds, I feel free to comment that up, because that would actually be very helpful. But yeah, we're doing the kids' bedroom now, just putting a bunch of toys around. So yeah, I was right. There is 3 bedrooms, and there's an office and 3 full bathrooms. And all your necessities pretty much are met in this house, I would say. I put around a lot of posters and a lot of toys in this room. I just felt like it, so sue me. I wanted to do it, and I really wanted to put that thing on top of the house. So we are into these screenshots, and I've successfully rambled at you guys for about 13 minutes now, going on 14. So this is a bit shorter video than usual, but of course I know most people like shorter videos anyway. So you're getting your 360 view here. Now we're coming in the front of the house, and we're in the living room. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. If you ever have any suggestions of what you would like me to build next, please let me know. I do have a rustic ranch idea that I think it was Hunter Crooks, I think it was, gave me. So I will do that eventually, and it will be, of course, this similar style. It's more of like a rustic interior. But of course, that isn't my forte, so we'll get to that. I have some more modern homes to do, and now that Newcrest is out, I will be building a brand new series for Newcrest, where we are going to decorate everything and make brand new homes. So that is going to be a big series that will probably start next week. So if you guys like this video, of course, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and if you have not already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. So thanks for watching, and have a great week, guys.